Welcome to another edition of Islanders Insider. I'm Stephen King as we come to you from the locker room here on the campus of Texas A&M University Corpus Christi. Today we're going to talk Islander hoops with head coaches Willis Wilson of the men's program and head coach Royce Chadwick of Islander women's basketball. We also have a special feature on Islanders softball and the start of their 2015 season. As we get things rolling today, though, let's bring in the head coach of Islander men's hoops, Coach Willis Wilson. Coach, how you doing?
I'm doing great. How are you?
I'm doing really well. Since the last time we spoke, your team has taken to the floor one time. It was on the road in a big game against league-leading Stephen F. Austin. Now, this was definitely a hard nose. It was a slugfest game. Unfortunately, saw us fall a little bit short in this one. It just seemed that we couldn't take a lead. We got so close on different occasions, but just never could get over the hump. Did it come down to just making plays in crunch time?
Well, the truth of the matter, we made plenty of plays. It came down to finishing plays. We had some really terrific looks throughout the course of that basketball game where we just didn't get the ball to go in the hoop. And one of the things that was frustrating, we had some point-blank opportunities with layups that we frankly just missed. And it's one of those games where you have to complete some of those plays. I thought our defense was very, very good. We held Stephen F. Austin far below their conference scoring average, below their season field goal percentage, even though they did shoot the ball fairly well. The one thing that we didn't do was shoot the ball well at all. And in that kind of game on the road, it's just one of those things that you have to be able to do. You have to be able to shoot the ball in the hole. Matched up even on the backboards, we forced them into a high number of turnovers, and the turnover battle was about even. So it just boils down to one of those things where field goal percentage really mattered on a night like that one.
Offensively, we fell short. Defensively, we were in the game.
Well, I thought our defense was very good. We were not intimidated by any means by Stephen F. Austin, especially in that environment. Had a very, very nice crowd on hand and two teams that had a lot at stake in that ball game. But our guys came out and played with the tenacity that we were looking for and really did some really nice things. I like the improvement that I'm seeing in our basketball team. I think it's going to boil down to us continue to mature. Sure. I think that was one of those games where we lost it on a little bit of maturity. But in terms of our fight and our will is definitely there, and we're looking forward to an opportunity to see those guys again here in Corpus Christi.
Well, the big fella inside, Rashawn Thomas, 18 points, 6 boards, 5 of those offensive boards. You know, he was living up to his name, Beast, I'll tell you. One-on-one against one of the league's best defenders, Thomas Walkup. It was a mismatch. I don't mean to be disrespectful, but Rashawn was very dominant in one-on-one matchups. Now, when the double team came, that's when he ran into some problems.
Yeah, he's done a really nice job in one-on-one. I don't know that there's anybody in this league that really can contain him. Where he's got to get better is recognizing the double team a little bit sooner and just doing a better job of taking care of the basketball. I did think there were a couple opportunities, situations where he was being very aggressive and there was a lot of contact, no-call results, and then that leads into a turnover. So we've got to figure out a way to fix some of those things. It's going to require a little more patience on his part, and again, just recognizing where those double teams are coming from.
Now, credit where credit's due. Lumberjacks seem to do a very good job of not letting Brandon Pye get the open looks that we're accustomed to seeing him get in the game. They were very aware of his presence pretty much no matter where he was in the offensive set.
They did a solid job on Brandon. I think that was one of the keys for them, was to be able to focus in on him. But Brandon's been banged up a little bit, and you look back at the last 2 games, I think his poor shooting has more to do with his body being banged up than it does the effort that people have put in. And no disrespect again to Stephen F. Austin. I thought they did a very good job on Brandon. Brandon's a key guy for us. We need him to make shots on nights where he and Bryce Duvier or any 2 of our top scorers struggle to shoot the ball, and they're volume shooters. We're going to struggle a little bit.
John Jordan, stat line was impressive, 12 points, 5 boards, 5 assists, career high 5 steals. You know, I think the biggest stat was the steals because it's part of an outstanding defensive performance that, you know, other than steals, really isn't measured statistically. I thought he was outstanding.
Yeah, well, one of the stats that we keep on the bench are deflections, and we had a goal for that game to get 30 deflections. I think we were right around 35, 36 for the game, but John had 12 by himself. So that says a lot about his motor and how intense he was in that basketball game, and just really played with a lot of confidence throughout.
Recently, he has played up against players such as Pinckney of Stephen F. Austin, Jalen West of Northwestern State. And the way I've seen it, he's won those matchups, and those are probably the three best point guards in the league going head to head to head. I just think he loves to rise to a challenge.
John's he's faced very good competition here in conference play and has done more than hold his own. I think John has really taken upon himself to really activate, if you will, really gone out to make the effort to get off to good starts and to get our team off to good starts. And we're really following his lead. I think it's a lot less about one-on-one matchups than it is about him making sure that we're ready to play as a team and showing a lot more leadership. And you know, and I know that this week coming up, going to Stephen F. Austin after our game against Incarnate Word is going to be a big matchup. That's been a battle that we struggle with. It's been great basketball games. Every game's been close, but John has not played particularly well in those basketball games. I'm looking forward to seeing how we fare there.
Well, like I said, we face Incarnate Word and another of the top players and top scorers in the league in Denzel Livingston. He's a young man. The interesting thing about Livingston, it's a good story. Wasn't heavily recruited, but has worked so incredibly hard in his time in college to become a premier talent. There's no doubt. How do we slow down the conference top scorer, averaging 23 a game?
Tough task. Guy's averaging 23 a game. That means he's doing it night in, night out. Denzel Livingston was a guy that we had a chance to look at early on, and he's changed his body. He's grown. Came out of high school at about 5'11", 6 foot. Grown a little bit, put on some weight, but I think just really, as you indicated, worked really hard on his game. His high school coach, Dan Kelly, is a great friend, so we really have a lot of respect for him. And I think that's a matchup where we're going to have our hands full. We're going to have to really do yeoman's work to suppress him and to try to keep him down.
Who gets that assignment, or does it vary?
It'll probably be multiple guys. I think that's a key matchup over the course of the basketball game where we're going to have to use a number of guys to give him different looks from time to time.
On the weekend, it's back on the road to face a team that knocked us out of the Southland Conference tournament, Sam Houston State. If that alone doesn't put a big target on them, the fact that they are currently a game and a half ahead of us in the standings should also put a big target on them. Has this team's dynamic changed much from last year's squad?
I don't think so. They continue to play smaller lineups, quicker, very very aggressive on defense. The one thing that they're doing is they've got a much greater presence on the inside, so they're pounding the ball inside to Holyfield, the big man, much more than they have in the past. But I think in terms of their characteristic and their moxie and style, they continue to be a scrappy team that just fights every single possession.
Best of luck to you, Coach.
Thank you.
Willis Wilson joining us here in the locker room talking Islander men's hoops. When we come back, we have a special feature on Islanders softball and the start of the 2015 season. More to come on Islanders Insider.
The Southland Conference is 4,200 student athletes from 13 member institutions, competing in 17 NCAA Division I sports. We are Southland Strong.
Welcome back to Islanders Insider. At this time, we have a special segment focusing on Islanders softball and their start to the 2015 season.
Preparation is underway for Islanders softball's 2015 season. With their first game right around the corner, the only word to describe their feelings is excited.
We're really excited to finally face someone other than ourselves. That's been, the past 2.5 weeks of just going after each other. But we haven't really had a real game since last May. So especially the returners are really anxious to get back on the field and face competition and kind of show everyone what this team's all about.
Oh, we're extremely excited. We're ready to get out there. We've been working hard every single day, getting better, taking extra cuts, everything. So we're so excited just to get out there to show what we've worked for ready to see where we're at, where we're headed, and just get the experience especially for the newcomers and the positions that they're at, which is almost everyone in the infield. So just working on that, and we're extremely excited.
The Islanders open up their season with tough non-conference opponents with a level of competition that will help them prepare for Southland Conference play.
Yeah, we always try to schedule our non-conference opponents to be a little more difficult, and that's something that this weekend opening up at Baylor. I think the polls came out, and Baylor is 10 in the nation right now, and facing Wichita State, and then a Southland Conference foe and Stephen F. Austin. It's going to be a great weekend for us, but it's going to be challenging, especially with Baylor. But it'll be a good gauge of where we're at as a team and what we need to work on moving towards conference play.
Facing big competition in these first few tournaments is really good for us to see what we bring to the table with them, and then bringing it to conference play. I think that's going to be really good because we'll have a lot of competition before we get into all that.
The team will have a new look this season. With a blend of returners and new players, it's a combination that they feel will be a positive lift.
Yeah, the newcomers are awesome. They add a lot of depth to our roster. We have the 2 walk-ons, the 4 freshmen, and then our junior transfers. The pitcher, it's nice having Stephanie here. She compliments me well, and I'm excited to have her in the circle and for her to be here and have the experience that she has at the junior college level.
I think that one thing that fans will notice and other teams will notice on this team is we're extremely fast, and that's something we haven't been in the past. The wind blows a lot down here, and so we've kind of shifted our recruiting to getting more athletic, speedy kids. So we're extremely fast in that aspect, very versatile offensively. We return Brittany Morse and Liz Carter, Lindsay Lyles. Those are more of our power kids. We really work on going gap to gap, so hitting balls into the gaps. And then, our pitching staff is returning to the 2 kids from last year, Liz and Katie, and the experience they got as true freshmen and a lot of experience that they got. But in addition, we have a junior college transfer, Stephanie Flores, who just pretty much dominated the junior college level. So I'm excited to see what she can bring and help our pitching staff out this season.
For Islanders Insider, I'm Teddy Medina. We'll be right back.
Whether you're on the road or at home, GoIslanders.com is your source for Texas A&M Corpus Christi athletics. From live stats to live video to all the latest news, GoIslanders.com has everything to keep you up to date on all the latest on your favorite Islanders team. Check out Islanders schedules and statistics and learn more about the student athletes at the Island University. Get tickets, Islanders game day gear, and more by clicking your way to GoIslanders.com today. Go Islanders! Welcome back to Islanders Insider. At this time, let's talk some women's hoops with the head coach of the program, Coach Royce Chadwick. Coach, how you doing?
I'm good, Stephen.
Well, Coach, since the last time we spoke, 2 games in the books, 1 at home, 1 on the road. The first against one of our newest rivals and the other against one of our oldest rivals. First, a 63-54 win over the University of Incarnate Word at the Dugan Wellness Center. Then on the road, a 64-55 setback to Stephen F. Austin. In what ways were the 2 games similar, and in what ways were the 2 games different?
Well, I think we are our own worst enemy right now. We are giving up offensive rebounds. You can't let good teams have second chance points. We're giving up way too many of those. Early in the year, we weren't doing that. We were blocking out better. So we've kind of gotten complacent with our blockouts, and that has to be picked up. We'll work on that in practice. The second thing is turnovers. We are turning it over, and we pulled off every one of our turnovers in the last 3 games. We got about 70 of them. And so there are 80 possessions, 90 in a game, and we are giving away 20 to 30 of those. And they are just nonchalant situations. It's not that people are putting us in adverse situations. We are just making poor reads, poor decisions, bad ball fakes, and we got to get more fundamental, which we'll work on in practice.
Well, you did pick up the win against the University of Incarnate Word. Shea Weaver had a strong performance. Averaging over 21 points over the 2-game stretch. Now, not only is she a fine shooter, but what I really saw against the Cardinals that stood up for me is how strong and physical she is as a guard.
Well, Shea can do it all. She can catch and shoot, tremendous 3-point shooter. She has a mid-range game. She can drive with either hand, and she can attack the rim. The one thing that I don't understand is she's probably the strongest girl on our team, and she gets a lot of bumps, a lot of smacks and things that refs just say, oh, well, you're stronger than her. So, you know, she doesn't really get any, I guess she hasn't been in the league long enough to get the respect that she deserves.
Now, you shot almost 3 times more free throws than Incarnate Wood did on the night. Was your aggressiveness the key to that statistic?
Well, I think part of the deal was Incarnate Word had 7 players, and they had some kids hurt and some kids that were sick, so they were trying to play passing lanes, and we were attacking those passing lanes. They weren't just manning up and basically staying on their girl. They were trying to get in between 2, and we were trying to be aggressive and take it right to them. So we drew a lot of fouls that I don't think Incarnate Word normally gives away.
Is an interesting game. Sophomore Kamisha Davis made a few really big, athletic, acrobatic shots on the evening. Truthfully, you watch her, and I can't really figure out what her ceiling might be.
Well, I can't either, but her ceiling is going to be directly tied to her disposition and how she sees herself on the basketball court. Right now, she sees herself as our 4th, 5th option. She needs to move that up, and I think a lot of it is because we have older girls on the team. She looks at Olivia and Jennifer and Shay, and you know, they're all older than me and they got more experience, so I'm the last option behind them, and that's not necessarily true. She is a very good offensive basketball player, but she tends to want to play the other end of the floor with her talents as opposed to bringing it on both ends of the court. But I think as she gets more experience and she sees that she can do those things, her confidence level will soar and she'll move up to our number 1, number 2 option.
Well, she is a special person, there's no doubt. You were out on the road. The road, by the way, it's been quite of a challenge now that I just mentioned the road. This stretch of your schedule has been kind of tough.
Well, you know, I come home and my dog barks at me now. You know, he doesn't know who I am. We've been on the road almost the whole month of January. It's been a situation where we had 6 of 7 games on the road. We have 2 more of those that we have to survive this week. I assure you our kids are behind in class. We're trying to get caught up. We're tired. It's just a long, long road when you have to do those kind of things in January, but it'll pay us some benefits in February because we get to play some home games.
Well, that road game we just faced against Stephen F. Austin, things were pretty even, but then the final 6 minutes of the first half might have been the backbreaker. They went on a 13-2 run to end the half, and what was a tied game just kind of broke things open.
Well, 2 things. We gave up a couple offensive rebounds in that stretch. Portia Roberts is averaging about 5 offensive rebounds a game. She got back-to-back ones in that game against us and put it in. And then we come down on the offensive end and we just made sloppy passes and they turn it over. We turn it over and they get an easy basket. So we didn't play very well. A lot of people lose basketball games in that Coliseum because I've been there a bunch, and the visitor in that place is hard to win. But nonetheless, the road's the road, and you got to go up there, and we didn't play good enough to win.
No, that's true. Yeah, you have spent a few nights in that facility, that's for sure. You mentioned Kamisha Davis, and you hit upon it, and that's something I was going to ask you about. Bit of a head scratcher. 2 of 2 from the floor, only 2 shots against Stephen F. Austin. This goes back to what you're talking about in her scenario. I mean, did they take her out of the flow, or was she just continuing to play a little too unselfish?
Well, you can't take Kamisha Davis out of the flow because she's so athletic, she's so big, she is so talented. She takes herself out of the flow sometimes, deferring to everybody else. Okay. Well, you guys got to make that play. Whereas what we need her to do is to pop out, go get the basketball, and make the play for us. So I think, you know, she's just a pup. You know, she's going to get better and better as she goes, and she just doesn't have a lot of experience right now. And she wasn't a go-to girl on her high school team. She needs to get a little bit of a change of disposition. We're working on that, and it'll come with time.
What did the team learn from that game, and what will we take from that when we face them again on the 14th?
Well, it was a tough game, very physical. They are very athletic, very long. They get hands in passing lanes. They're very well coached, so they don't defer from what they do. You're going to have to take them out of their game. We had 27 turnovers. Let's just say for grins and giggles, we cut that down to 17. We win the basketball game. We missed 8 free throws, 2 of those front ends of 1-and-1s. Let's just say for grins and giggles, we can shoot 80% from the free throw line, which we have done in games. We win by 1. So we're in a situation where we're in the ballpark. We don't play in Nacogdoches. We don't have a game. When we play them next time, we don't play on Thursday, turn around and play them on Saturday with them sitting home the whole time. They got to play on Thursday. So we will be it'll be a better basketball game. We may not win it, but we'll play better next time.
Well, 2 games this week on the road at Houston Baptist and at Sam Houston State. Now, the Huskies have had a tough run so far this conference season, only 2 wins with the Bearcats. They're kind of an enigma. A couple tough losses, but also big wins, including a 2-point victory over Stephen F. Austin. How do we prepare for this stretch?
Well, when you're talking about HBU, they're the most athletic team in the league. They want to outscore you. You got to defend. You have to defend HBU. So we got to get ready to play some defense on Thursday. To go to Sam, when you're talking about Sam playing Stephen F. Austin, that is the OU Texas rivalry for Sam Houston. They want to beat Stephen F. Austin more than they want to beat anybody else. So they were pumped and primed for that, and they're still talking about it, I assure you. So that was a rivalry game. In rivalry games, you can throw a whole lot of stats out the window. They got a great point guard. We got a controller. She is getting 20, 25 a night, getting to the free throw line 15, 16 times in some games. So can't foul her, got to play good defense. So we know what we got to do. We just got to go make it happen.
Well, it should be an exciting week. One more trip on the road, then hopefully we see a little bit more action back here at home for the home fans, as a matter of fact. But best of luck to you, Coach.
Thanks, Stephen. Looking forward to being at home.
Royce Chadwick joining us here in the locker room. When we come back, we'll bring you up to speed on what's next for Islander Athletics.
The Countdown to Katy, March 11th through 15th at the Merrill Center. Go to Ticketmaster.com or Southland School ticket offices.
Welcome back to Islanders Insider. At this point in the show, we like to bring you up to speed on what's next for Islanders Athletics. Islanders women's basketball will head out on the road on Thursday, February 5th as they take on the Houston Baptist Huskies at 7 p.m. Then on Saturday, February 7th, is doubleheader action in Huntsville, Texas at Sam Houston State, with the women taking the court first at 2 p.m. Monday, February 9th, it'll be men's basketball at Houston Baptist, 7 o'clock start time. And then Thursday, February 12th, a return to the American Bank Center as women's basketball takes on the University of New Orleans, start time 7 p.m. And on Saturday, February 14th, is a doubleheader as Stephen F. Austin comes to the American Bank Center, with the Islander women opening the doubleheader at 1 p.m. Islanders softball gets underway and starts their season on the road at the Baylor Invitational, Friday, February 6th through Sunday, February 8th. The Islander Invitational is what's up next from February 12th to the 15th at Chapman Field. It'll start on Thursday, February 12th as Islander softball takes on Wisconsin in a doubleheader. That is a 1 o'clock start time. Islanders baseball opens the 2015 season with 3 games against St. Peter's at Chapman Field. Friday, February 13th at 7 p.m., Saturday, February 14th at 7 p.m., and Sunday, February 15th at 1 p.m. And then Islander men's and women's tennis will get things underway on Tuesday, February 10th as they take on Prairie View at 2 p.m. Once again, I want to thank Willis Wilson, head coach of Islander men's basketball, and Royce Chadwick, head coach of Islander women's basketball, for showing up today here in the locker room. Also, most importantly, we want to thank you for tuning in once again. I'm Stephen King for everyone here. You've been watching Islanders Insider.